On February 3rd, 2026, Floyd Mayweather filed a lawsuit in California against Showtime Networks and Steven Espinoza, claiming they helped his former advisor, Al Heyman, misappropriate a huge chunk of his fight earnings to the tune of $340 million.
And he had been giving him 50,000 and 50,000 and 50,000. He had already gave Gamboa about 300,000 to chill on the side. And then we ended up, when he did go in, I ended up picking up all the fighters.
Al Heyman was so good at his job, yes, that he was clowning these networks. He was out negotiating the networks to the point where they were giving you an inferior product because his fighters were getting overpaid for lesser fights.
We weren't getting overpaid.
In that,
we weren't getting
I'm happy for every dollar made.
Freddie Hernandez.
Yeah, right.
This is the golden child of Al Heyman right here.
But it is admirable that Al Heyman not only did his job so well, but was helping fighters get rich while he was doing it. He created a climate where fighters started to begin to believe that they were worth more money. I don't mean to me. You're worth all the money in the world to me, the fighters. But I mean to the marketplace.
Yep. My thought is everything has a price. There is not a number that can get you back in that ring. 80 million, 100 million.
Nah, because now you selling your soul.
$100 million, you can have my soul.
That's you. Now we know your character. Sometimes, you know, you look at people and you be like, dang, man, you ain't got no dignity. You ain't got no morals. Like, come on, man. Like, what you gonna stand for if everything is about money? Like, I never was in a sport.
50 Cent just took another shot at Floyd Mayweather by saying Crawford beats your ass, and now that comment is tied to a shocking $340 million lawsuit. What makes this case even more unbelievable is the massive amount involved. Floyd Mayweather is not claiming a few simple financial mistakes. He says there was a well-planned scheme that lasted for years. According to the lawsuit, money from some of the biggest fights in combat sports history disappeared without notice, including the record-breaking Conor McGregor pay-per-view event. Now the unbeaten boxing legend says the real story was right in front of everyone the whole time.
Floyd is stepping into the courtroom to fight for money he claims that he was never paid, and he wants justice on his terms. So let's talk details. Let me tell you about the lawsuits. On February 3rd, 2026, Floyd Mayweather filed a lawsuit in California against Showtime Networks and Steven Espinoza, claiming they helped his former advisor, Al Heyman, misappropriate a huge chunk of his fight earnings to the tune of $340 million. Mayweather says the money is still missing and unaccounted for, and he's now suing Showtime and Espinoza for aiding and abetting breach of fiduciary duty, civil conspiracy to commit fraud. Ooh, that's...
At the heart of this controversy is Al Heyman, who was once Floyd Mayweather's most trusted advisor. The lawsuit describes what Mayweather believes was a major betrayal, claiming Heyman secretly moved fight earnings while Floyd had no idea it was happening. The filing says incomplete paperwork, missing financial records, and unexplained accounts prevented Mayweather from ever seeing the complete money trail. For a boxer who built his career on discipline and total control, these claims hit directly at the foundation of everything he created.
Floyd argues that during his legendary career, where he generated $1 billion in revenue plus and pay-per-view money, a significant portion of the funds that he made through those events, through his fights, didn't make it into his hands because they were funneled through accounts controlled by his then advisor, Al Heyman. Now, Mayweather says that Showtime delivered those checks and funds through systems that helped Heyman get the money instead of paying Floyd directly. The lawsuit also points to some of boxing's biggest pay-per-view fights, including fights against Manny Pacquiao and Conor McGregor, events that generated hundreds of millions in revenue. Mayweather's legal team said he generated hundreds of millions in revenue for Showtime and now wants to recover what he claims was unfairly taken.
Things became even more suspicious when Mayweather's new team got involved. After Richard Schaefer and his representatives asked for complete financial transparency, Showtime reportedly did not provide full payment records. The biggest concerns were the missing details connected to the Manny Pacquiao mega fight and the Conor McGregor crossover event, which were two of the highest earning fights ever promoted. According to the lawsuit, the financial figures just did not make sense.
Al Heyman himself, the advisor that Mayweather blames for the missing money, is not named as a defendant in the lawsuit. Instead, Mayweather's legal action targets the network and Steven Espinoza. He claims they aided and abetted these alleged financial wrongdoings. So what does this mean, and what's like a potential outcome for this case that's coming up? Well, the lawsuit could have some pretty serious implications, not only for Floyd's legacy, but also for how networks and advisors handle fighter compensations. Mayweather wants hundreds of millions back plus punitive damages, pushing this beyond a simple accounting dispute. If the court rules in his favor, it could open the door to more scrutiny of boxing's behind-the-scenes financial relationship.
Now this legal fight could reveal what was really happening behind the scenes of boxing's biggest money-making events. With $340 million reportedly missing and possible damages rising even further, the lawsuit has the power to shake the entire sport. As fans continue reacting to these allegations, comments from people like 50 Cent keep making the situation even bigger, turning a financial conflict into a massive public controversy where reputations are at risk.
You had a boxing promotion company once.
Yeah.
What happened with the boxing promotion company?
That really happened, Ken, because of my relationship with Floyd. You know what I mean? I didn't have interest in being a promoter like out the gate. It was just, he was doing Mayweather promotions at the time, and then he had to do 90 days. He was going to jail, and he had fighters. He had Rockers Gamboa. He had guys that was just lingering. I'm like, champ, if they're gonna go, they're gonna leave. If you go to jail, they're just gonna leave. Like,
right.
And he had been giving them 50,000 and 50,000 and 50,000. He had already gave Gamboa about 300,000 to chill on the side, and then we ended up, when he did go in, I ended up picking up all the fighters.
Right.
And so it's Ruckus Gamboa. I had James Kirkland, Andre Durrell, Billy Dip. He was the IBF champion at that point, and then a few other guys, younger guys that I picked up.
50 Cent never misses a chance to take a shot at Floyd Mayweather, and he quickly turned the lawsuit into a joke for everyone to see. Keeping their long-running rivalry alive, the rap star did more than laugh at Floyd because he also suggested a way to recover the missing money. According to 50, the only chance to get that $340 million back is to return to the ring for 2 huge fights that would dominate every headline. He posted on Instagram, "Oh no, do not cry now, champ. They took $320 million from you, you dumbass. I told you to let me read the contracts. Now put the gloves back on. You better look good fighting, Mike. Maybe we can get Bud Terence Crawford to beat you for a huge payday." Right in the middle of all these claims is Ul Heyman, a man Max Kellerman once called one of the most influential figures boxing has ever known. Max said Heyman changed the sport in ways that made many people uncomfortable. Fighters earned big money much earlier in their careers, the pressure to take risks became much lower, and many of the major fights fans wanted to see were delayed or never happened. The business continued making money, but many people questioned whether boxing lost its competitive edge.
Wrote on Instagram, "Oh no, don't cry now, champ. They beat you out of $320 million, you dumbass. I told you, let me read the contracts. Now lace up. You gotta look good fighting, Mike. Then maybe we can get Bud Terence Crawford to beat your ass for some big money."
Andre Berto then joined the discussion, explaining how unfair and complicated the business side of boxing had become. He believed Ul Heyman's approach was not hurting the fighters, but was actually designed to protect their careers and interests. Max Kellerman still stood by his opinion, saying the strategy was extremely successful for Heyman, while also admitting that many fighters continued dealing with serious challenges. As the situation kept changing, Turki Alalshik stepped in with a different system, giving fighters bigger opportunities, larger events, and more transparent pay.
Al Heyman was so good at his job that he was clowning these networks. He was out negotiating the networks to the point where they were giving you an inferior product because his fighters were getting overpaid for lesser fights.
We weren't getting overpaid.
In that,
we weren't getting
I'm happy
overpaid.
for every dollar you made.
Freddie Hernandez.
Yeah, right.
This is the golden child of Al Heyman right here.
But it is admirable that Al Heyman not only did his job so well, but was helping fighters get rich while he was doing it. He created a climate where fighters started to begin to believe that they were worth more money. I don't mean to me. You're worth all the money in the world to me, the fighters. But I mean to the marketplace than they actually were. And so now it became difficult to make fights.
You really want us to change our mindset, right? The fact that we were putting our health in jeopardy every time we stepped in that ring. So we had to make sure to get every penny that we...
But this is where the story becomes even more complicated. Even though Turki Alalshik is offering enough money to make the biggest fights happen, some of those matchups are still not being made, and that is creating even more questions. Max Kellerman points to the long-awaited Virgil Ortiz against Jaron Boots Ennis fight as the perfect example. Fans have been asking for that matchup for a long time, but it still has not happened. Now the focus is starting to move towards Zuffa boxing a new system that could completely change the way the sport is organized in the future.
Every time we stepped in there, I mean, that's the mindset that he put in our minds on the regular basis.
And good for him. But when he does his job that well, then Andre Berto doesn't have to take the best fights to make the money, and now me as the consumer doesn't get to see the best Andre Berto fights. My point is, fighters started thinking that the market was different than it really was, because Al was juicing the market. In that climate, big fights stopped getting made, because fighters are thinking, I'm making all this money for not taking a risk. You want me to fight that killer, or their managers want me to fight that killer for not much more money? Into that terrible situation for the consumer stepped Turkey Al Sheikh, who said, oh, okay, wait, what are your petty differences? It's over $1 million or $2 million? Here it is. Here's my gift to the boxing world. Everyone, take this.
At the same time, 50 Cent's latest comments have sparked an even bigger question. Could a fight between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather already be taking shape behind the scenes? He suggested that important moves may already be happening without the public knowing, pulling fans into a new chapter where controversy grabs all the attention while the real plans stay hidden. Beyond the jokes and constant insults, there's a growing discussion about how Crawford and Mayweather could eventually meet in the ring, and whether 50's recent comments are a sign that something is already being put together.
Now the problem is,
he's overpaying. Like I said, I'm not mad at that. If you're gonna give me the money, we're gonna fight whoever you want me to fight.
But Trey, now the problem is, Boots and Virgil can't get made for $6 million plus for the fighters? Do you think the average person on the street in this country knows who Boots and Virgil are?
On the other hand, Terence Crawford has no interest in coming back just to collect huge paydays like Floyd Mayweather has done. He has clearly said that it does not matter if the offer is $80 million or $100 million because he is not returning. Crawford believes fighting only for money would mean giving up his values. He has always stayed focused on building his legacy and reaching greatness in boxing, and he feels he has already achieved that goal. At the same time, Floyd's decision to keep returning for more fights is one of the main reasons he has gained a reputation of always chasing big money.
A lot of comparisons between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. We've even had the conversation to go as far as who would win in a fight between Terence and Floyd, and I truly don't know the answer to that question.
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah. Who will win that fight?
Floyd.
Floyd will win that fight.
Yes, sir. I
Floyd
love you, Terence.
Always figures it out.
Yeah,
he's a chess master.
Yeah, his IQ in that
sense is
crazy.
The funny thing about it is Terence has been the only other guy that people can say he always figures it out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's true.
But you gotta have an OG somewhere.
Anybody else? Yeah.
There's an OG somewhere.
Somebody got to pioneer, right? Yeah, you got to.
There's an OG you can't out-figure out somewhere, and I just believe Floyd is that OG you can't out-figure.
At the same time, Floyd Mayweather's new lawsuit claims the boxing business may be far more damaged than many people believed. He says money from his biggest fights, including Manny Pacquiao and Conor McGregor, was moved into accounts controlled by Al Heyman. Years later, when his new team asked Showtime for the financial records, they were reportedly told the documents had been destroyed in a flood. Floyd is now suing Showtime and Steven Espinoza for fraud, civil conspiracy, and unjust enrichment, while also demanding punitive damages. His attorney Bobby Samini expressed confidence in the case, saying Floyd was one of the biggest pay-per-view stars in boxing and earned Showtime hundreds of millions of dollars. He said Mayweather is now taking the battle to court to recover the money he believes belongs to him, and that after retiring with a perfect 50-0 record, he plans to fight this legal case with the same determination he showed inside the ring. Although Showtime has long been considered one of the biggest stages in boxing, this lawsuit is now putting a bright spotlight on what may have been happening behind the scenes. If Terence Crawford ever speaks publicly about the case, it could lead to even more questions about promoters, managers, and fighter contracts. Opinions on Floyd's legacy remain divided, with many fighters, including Keith Thurman, believing he became more focused on business and making money than competing purely for the sport.
I thought that everything has a price. There is not a number that can get you back in that ring. 80 million, 100 million.
Nah, because now you selling your soul.
$100 million, you can have my soul.
That's you. Now we know your character. Sometimes, you know, you look at people and you be like, dang, man, you ain't got no dignity. You ain't got no morals. Like, come on, man. Like, what you gonna stand for if everything is about money? Like, I never was in a sport because of money, you know? Of course, I was in a sport to make money, but I wanted to be a world champion. You know, I wanted to do something that I set my sights out to do as a little boy. Money wasn't the motivation. Me being a world champion was the motivation.
Questions about the truth behind Floyd Mayweather's claims continue to grow. Many people are wondering if this lawsuit is another controversy driven by personal disagreements. The case becomes even more confusing because Floyd is not taking legal action against Heyman directly, but instead against Showtime, which reportedly handled the payments sent to Heyman. Many are asking how Floyd could have missed something like this throughout his career. Others wonder if he actually received the money, then where it eventually ended up. These unanswered questions about the timing, what Floyd knew, and the real intentions behind the lawsuit continue to fuel the debate.
Accomplishing all the things that I've accomplished along the way on my journey, you know, it was extra credit. It was extra credit because it's coming from the hood. It was like, man, I just want to be a world champion because that's just my dream. So when I became a world champion, it was just like, man, all this other stuff is like a cherry on the top. Like, you know what I mean? I did what I set my sights out to do. Wow. It was evident that I wasn't gonna let nothing stand in the way of me accomplishing that goal in my life. My mom telling me all the time, you need to get a plan B. You need to go to school. Man, you know me in school don't rock. What I'm going to school for?
Y'all lay tight.
I'm gonna go to school and I'm gonna get in the fight and I'm gonna get kicked out of college.
From 50 Cent's shocking comments about Crawford beating Floyd to the growing controversy surrounding Mayweather's $340 million lawsuit, the boxing world is full of non-stop debate. Crawford remains committed to his own path, refusing to return just for huge money, while Floyd continues making headlines with one controversy after another. Could 50 Cent's latest remarks be hinting that a Crawford versus Mayweather fight is quietly being discussed behind the scenes? What do you think? Is it real or just hype? Leave your opinion in the comments, hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe for all the latest boxing news and drama.